Hello students, I am Azizi, Professor Electronics. In this session, we will have brief introduction regarding MCS51 family and will discuss the internal architecture of MCS51 family, because without having this knowledge, it is not possible to program this device. So it is recommended to have the knowledge regarding internal architecture of MCS51 family. So let's start our session. We can find from the book 8051 microcontroller from Scott McKenzie different variants of MCS51 family, that is 8051, 8031, 8751, 8052, 8032, 8752, or we can find different devices on the web related to MCS51 family. Here we can see the part number, that is 8051, has 4 kilobyte of ROM and 128 byte of data memory, that is RAM, and 2 timers. And here we can find 8031, internal ROM is 0. It means that we cannot use this device as microcontroller. We can only use this device as microprocessor, and we have to connect the ROM outside of the chip, and this device will only work as microprocessor. The 8051 device is OTP, that is one time programmable. So we can program only one time this ROM, and we cannot change its program in future. If we have any 8051 device, then we will use this device as microprocessor and will connect the ROM as external device. Similarly, we have 8751, another variant of MCS51 family. 8751 is 4 kilobyte of EEPROM. It means that electrically programmable read-only memory. It has a EEPROM which can be written by electrically, but to erase the program from the ROM, we'll use the ultraviolet light to erase the program from this variant. And now this member of the MCS51 family has been obsoleted, and we can't find this device in the market because UV EEPROM based devices are obsoleted now. And this member, that is 8751 and 8752, are UV EEPROM based. Both these devices, that is 8751 and 8752, they have UV EEPROMs with them. It means that to program them, we'll use the electrical voltages like 12 volt or 21 volt to program these devices. But to erase the program from these devices, we will use ultraviolet lights. And now these devices, that is 8751 and 8752, both devices are not available in the market. Here we can find different variants, that is 8751. It has a glass window to erase this device under ultraviolet light. And we have 8051 and 89C52. This microcontroller or microprocessor has electrically erasable programmable ROM in it. Similarly, we can find 89S52. It has electrically erasable programmable memory in it, and we can program this device in circuit, and these devices are in circuit programmable. Similarly, we can find 8031, 8089C2051, 8089C2052. These devices can only work as microcontroller, and we cannot use the series, that is 8089C2051 and 8089C2052 as microprocessor. We can only use them as microcontroller. Here we can find 8751, 8752 UV EEPROM based microcontroller and microprocessors. Here we can find a glass window to put ultraviolet light to erase the program, and we had these type of devices to erase the program from the microcontrollers. But for the devices, that 89C51 and 89C52, one has the 4 kilobyte of ROM in it and second has the 8 kilobyte of ROM in it. So we'll use a special programmer to download the program, that is the hex file, to the microcontroller, and to rewrite these devices with a new program we will use special circuits, and these circuits are called programmers. And here we can find, that is 89C1051, 89C2051, 89C4051 microcontroller EEPROM based. We cannot use these devices as microprocessor. We can only use these devices as microcontroller, and we can develop specific small circuits using these microcontrollers. Here we can find the terminologies related to microprocessors and microcontrollers, that is the power supply, source code ROM, random access memory, that is RAM, data bus, the pins, that is from port 0.0 to port 0.7, and these pins will be used as address and data ports in case of microprocessor based operation. We have address bus, that is from port 0.0 to port 0.7. The address is A0 to A7. And the port 2.0 to port 2.7, that is address from A8 to A15. Oscillator circuit. Here we can find two pins, that is pin number 18 and pin number 19. Crystal 1 and crystal 2. We'll connect the crystal between these two pins as we have connected in our circuit. read and write signals. Here we have read and write signals, that is port 3.6 and port 3.7. Address latch enable, that is ALE. Here we can see pin number 30 is ALE, and we can also use this pin as programming pin. External access, here we can find the pin number 31 is external access. It means that if this pin will be low, then this device will work as microprocessor, and if we'll connect this pin with 5 volt, that is the VCC, this device will work as microcontroller. And the next signal is program stored enable, PSEN. The microcontroller will use this pin to read the external source code in case of microprocessor based system. We have interrupts. Here we can find interrupts. Here we can see interrupt 0 and interrupt 1. Timers are here, port 3.4 and port 3.5. Master out slave in, MOSI. In some controllers we can find master out slave in, master in slave out, and serial clock to communicate over SPI, serial programmable interface. Serial clock, receive data, that is RxD, TXD, transmit data for UART. Here we can find we have TXD and RxD pins. Here we have 3.0 and 3.1 as RxD and TXD. Multiplex data, here we can see the multiplex data on port 0, that is address and data. Ports of digital controller, here we can see ports of digital controller. So these are the basic terminologies related to the microcontroller and microprocessor based circuits. And here we can find the internal of the microcontroller, that is CPU, interrupt controllers, the ROM. Here we place our new program in this device to run our new program. We have the RAM, that is random access memory, timer, counters, inputs, serial ports, general purpose IO ports, bus controller, and oscillator circuit. If we would like to use this device as microprocessor, then we will connect the signal, that is external access, with ground. In case of microprocessor, we have 16-bit address, that is from address 0 to address 15. And if we'll see that if we have 16-bit address, then we'll have the combinations, that is 65536. It means 64K combination, and the addresses will go from 0 to 65535. So we can read 64 kilobyte of source code and 64 kilobyte of IO devices with the help of program stored enable and read write. Here we can find the read write signals to read the external locations, and to read the source code we have another control, that is PSEN, program stored enable. In our last program which we have written in our previous session, we have used the address, that is 00H, because this address is reserved for the reset location. If the pin, that is reset, will be high, then the address counter will jump to the 00 location and start our program from the 00 location. Then we have not used these locations, that is 03, 0B, 13, 1B, 23 and 2B, because these locations are reserved for different types of interrupts. That is, address 3 is reserved for external 0 interrupt, 0B is reserved for timer 0 interrupt, 13H is reserved for external 1 interrupt. That's why we have left these addresses in our program and we have jumped from 0 to 30H directly. We'll use these vectors in our program when we will use different types of interrupts like external interrupt, timer interrupt, external 1 interrupt, timer 1 interrupt, and serial, that is UART program, and timer 2. Here we can find MCS51 on-chip data memory. We can see special function registers and RAM. We have 4 data banks, that is register bank 0, register bank 1, register bank 2, register bank 3, and the addresses are from 00 to 1F, and after 1F we have another RAM location, that is bit addressable location, from 20H to 2FH. It means that we can use these locations as byte or as bit. If we would like to use the address location, that is bit 0 of 20H, the address of this bit is 00H. So these bits from 20H to 2FH we have bit addressable locations, and above this memory we have general purpose RAM, that is 30H to 7FH. It is a general purpose RAM and we cannot use the bits of this RAM, we can only use this RAM as bytes. And on the right hand side we can find the special function registers, that is from 80H, which is port 0, and it has also the bit addresses, that is 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86 and 87H. We can use this port 0 as a port, that is the byte, and we can use each port of the port 0 with the number, that is 80, 81, 82. These are the addresses of the port 0.0, port 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 and port 0.7. Then we have stack pointers, data pointer low, data pointer high, program counter, timer mode, timer low 0, timer low 1, timer high 0, timer high 1 and port 1. The address of port 1 is 90. SCON serial control register 98. SBUF serial buffer. Port 2 is here. Interrupt enable register is here at A8. We have port 3. The hardware address of port 3 is B0 and we have register that is IP interrupt priority at B8. We have program status word at D0. We have accumulator at E0 and B register at F0. We will use these locations and registers in our programs. Then we would be able to understand that how to use these registers and locations in our program. Here we can find port 0 having the address that is 80H. We can move the data on this port as byte by using an instruction that is move 80H 00H. By writing this instruction that is move 80H 00H, it means we want to move the data that is 00H, a constant number, to port 80 and the all port bits will be 0, and we can find that each bit has its own address, that is the port 0.0 address is 80H, port 0.1 address is 81H, port 0.2 is 82H, similarly port 0.7 has its own address that is 87H. But if we will use the instruction that is set bit 80H, then the microcontroller will set the only one bit, that is port 0.0. And if we will use the clear instruction that is clear CLR 80H, the microcontroller will clear the port 0.0. So we can use the port as a whole port, or we can access different ports with their addresses, that is 80H, 81H, 82H, and we can also use all these ports with their name, that is port 0 or port 0.0, port 0.1. Similarly, we have port 1 with the address 90H, and we can find different addresses of port 1 pins, that is port 1.0 90H, port 1.1 91H and port 1.7 97H. Similarly, we can find the port address and the bit addresses of port 2, port 3. What are ports? The port is a place or pin through which we can connect our device to the real world. So if we would like to connect our real world to the air traffic, we will use air port. But if we would like to connect our real world with the sea, then we will use sea port. Similarly, in microcontroller, we use these ports to connect real world devices like switches, LEDs with our microcontroller. Now we'll discuss about the register banks of MCS51 family. Here we can find we have 4 register banks, that is register bank 0, register bank 1, register bank 2, register bank 3. And all these register banks have 8 different registers, that is from R0 to R7. All register banks, that is bank 0, bank 1, bank 2 and bank 3, they have all the same names for registers, that is R0, 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 but they have their different hardware locations. In bank 0, the hardware address for R0 is 00H, for R1 that is 01H, R2 that is 02H. In register bank, the address location of R0 is 08H. The register R1 location has 09H, and in register bank 2, we can see the R0 has the location that is 10H, and R1 has the location that is 11H, and similarly R7 has the location that is 17H. And register bank 3, we can see the R0 has the address location 18H. So how can we select these register in our program? We can select this register in our program by program status word, whose address is D0H, and here we have 2 pins, that is D3 and D4 of program status word. If both these pins will be 0, it means that bank 0 will be selected. If the D3 will be 1 and D4 will be 0, then register bank 1 will be selected. If D3 will be 0 and D4 will be 1, that is RS0 and RS1, then the bank 2 will be selected. And if both these bits will be 1, that is RS0 and RS1 will be 1, then it means that the register bank 3 will be selected. What are these locations, that is 00H, 01H, 02H and say 1FH? To understand these address locations, that is from 00H to 1FH, we have to understand the hexadecimal number systems. So how can we write the numbers in hexadecimal number system? We will go through the number systems. That is, what is decimal number system, what is binary number system, and what is hexadecimal number system. As we have learned earlier that microcontroller will work on binary number system. So here we can find the binary digit combinations. If we have the 4 bits, so we'll call it nibble, like 1010. But if we'll have 8 bits, we'll call it byte. say for example 10, 10, 10, 10, but if we'll have 16 bits, then we'll call it word. Here we can find the word in binary number system. What are binary coded numbers? Binary coded decimal numbers are here. We can write in binary, that is from 0000 means 0, and here we can find 1001 is 9, but in binary coded decimal number we'll use for 11, that is 001 and 001 as the number in BCD, that is binary coded decimal number. For 12 we'll write, that is 1, and here we can find 2, equivalent binary of number 2. So we'll write in decimal number system 12 like this, 1 and 2, and for 13 we'll write 1 and 001 is the BCD of 13, and to write the 100 in BCD we'll write 1, 0, 0. This is what we call the BCD number system, binary coded decimal number system. And here we have another number system which is called octal number system. Its base is 8, and we barely use these numbers in our programming, but to understand these number system we can say that these numbers go from 0 to 7. The octal number system for 8 is 10. In octal number system the value of 9 will be written as 11, and the 10 will be written as 12, and 100 will be written as 144. And here we can find the technique that how to convert the octal number system into equivalent decimal number system. Now come to the hexadecimal number system. As we know that the hexadecimal number system will go from 0 to 15. So we can write in decimal, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 15. Here we have 4 variables, that is A, B, C, D. And for the 4 bits we can have 16 combinations, that is from 0 to 15 or 000 to 111. In hexadecimal number system we write the value of 10 as A, the 11 as B, the 12 as C, the 13 as D, and the 14 as E, and the 15 as F. To write the equivalent decimal of 16 in hexadecimal, we will write 1 and 0, because after 111 this bit will be 1. So we will write 10, that is 16, or 10H. To convert the 17 decimal number system into hexadecimal, we will write 11H. For 18 we will write 12H. And for 100 we will write 0110, 0100, that is 64H. Here we can find we have 6, that is 4 and 2, 6, and here we have 4, so we will write 64H. In hexadecimal number system we will use A for 10, B for 11, C for 12, D for 13, E for 14, and F for 15. So we can convert the numbers between decimal number system, binary number system, and hexadecimal number system. Thanks for watching this semi-language programming course. We hope that you find this course very helpful to learn semi-language programming. If you feel that this course contributes and enhances your embedded system design knowledge, then go ahead and hit like, share, and subscribe buttons. And do not forget to press bell icon to stay updated with every new upcoming video from Electroeducators as soon as it goes up. Electroeducators also offers technical consultancy in following fields. For assistance regarding technical problems, projects, and any consultancy, feel free to reach out at our email address electroeducators@gmail.com. Okay, see you in next lecture.